Okay, I think we are starting. So, welcome everybody to episode, I believe, 5 of the Common Fiber podcast. I am your host, Sarah Stevens, and I'm coming to you from Spokane, Washington. Today is Sunday, January 31st, 2021. It is the last Sunday of January, and it is the last podcast of January, too. So it's kind of fun. I have a lot of things to talk about. I don't have a whole lot to really show you that I've been working on, but I have a lot of past things to talk to you about, specifically having to do with our knit along that we had in all the month of January, a knitting from your favorite designer. So I pulled all of that stuff to show you every single stinking thing that I have knit from my favorite designer at the moment. I also have some meal prep and recipe talk to you guys about. I have 2 whips. I only have 2. I have no FOs this week. I'm pretty sure I kind of shot myself in the foot last week. Anyways. Okay, so I'm in a new location. It's my old location. But new to this podcast. I'm in my dining room right now. The lighting is just so much better, and I don't have to fuss with anything. So it works. It is Sunday night. It's 7:45 p.m. Nothing has gone wrong today. That's a Cooper nose. We've just been so busy. So busy all day. Went and picked up groceries. I did some clothing shopping, and I went and bought my dad a new space heater for his apartment, and we got that all set up because he has been saying that it's pretty cold in his apartment. So, and then by the time you get, dinner's done and house cleaned and all that stuff, we didn't even make it to all of the grocery stores that we typically do on Sunday. Normally I do Costco and Fred Meyer and Trader Joe's, but today I just went to Trader Joe's. We skipped Costco altogether, and then my husband is running to Fred Meyer tonight before they close. It is what it is. So, anywho, it's been a great long weekend. We've had lots of fun. I did have a girlfriend come hang out on Friday night, and we made pizzas. Totally burnt my husband's pizza, but everybody else got pizza that wasn't burnt. We made a giant charcuterie board, and we just hung out and talked and drank wine, and the kids played, and it was so good to catch up. So I think that was probably one of the highlights of my weekend. Yesterday I took Caitlyn and her friend, and we went and picked up some crafting supplies, and we just had fun. They did a little crafting project. Nothing too crazy. And then today, like I said, ran some errands. He's really needy. So it was a good weekend. I'm excited that I potentially will have a short work week, and we will potentially get out of town for a little bit, which would be really, really nice. I obviously won't know that until Tuesday, but I'm kind of hoping. Okay, so I guess jumping right in, right? Oh, you know what? I did want to talk to you guys about something. I believe that next week I will get to have a guest host on the podcast with me, and I'm going to attempt to do that like every other month. I originally was thinking every month, but everybody's so busy. I think we're going to focus on at least every other month, and that'll be really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And during that guest host podcast, I do want to have a drawing for the podcast just to kind of say thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll definitely get into that a little bit more next week if that guest host happens to show up. We're probably going to do it via Zoom. I just love that that's even an option. So I'm really looking forward to that. So obviously drinking tea out of my cute sunshine mug tonight. It's my favorite. Like I've said before, it's just one of those magnolia, Hearth and Home magnolia mugs from Target. My family got me this for Christmas, and some little teacups. And then I got my husband these giant, like 20 ounce, I swear they hold like 20 ounces of coffee. We got 2 of those. So really, really rough mornings, we get to utilize those because I bought him an espresso machine for Christmas. So we have cappuccinos all the time. It's fantastic, truly. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you is what shot myself in the foot this week. I'm housing it in my old A Grand Yarn Bagoo bag. A Grand Yarn used to be a yarn shop that was located here in Spokane up on the South Hill. I worked there for a little while until they moved to the Midwest. So I miss them like crazy. But they had customized bags. So I got this far on this silly little sock. I did not get too done. Yeah. I did not knit at all Monday or Tuesday. I did this most of Tuesday, well, on Tuesday night and Wednesday. And then I didn't touch it again at all. So my focus for the rest of tonight and the beginning of the week is to get this pair of socks done. And if I get another pair of socks done, great. But I kind of have secondary focus that I want to get off the needles. So, you know, but I'm knitting these obviously cuff down. Give you like a nice shot of the colorway. It is beautiful. This yarn is from Unwind Yarn Company. I still need to check and see if Dana is still dyeing yarn, but I feel like she's not. This was her Journey sock base. And you can see it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, 400 yards. Here we go, is that little tag. But there's no colorway name. So I don't know what the name is, unfortunately. But I think I spoke about it last week or maybe the week before. It's kind of a special colorway. I do have 2 skeins because my mom picked up 2 for me when she went to the Smoky Mountain retreat or Smoky Mountain Spinnery retreat. I don't know. Dana was there. She connected with her and Dana said, I know exactly what Sarah likes, and she did an amazing job. It's just beautiful. So I have 2 skeins of this. I'm going to be knitting myself a pair of these socks for myself, and then a pair for both of my girls, which is super fun. Cuff down, 20 rounds for the cuff. I did 60 for the leg. I did the heel, flap and gusset, and now I'm working on doing 60 for the foot. And when I say 60 for the foot, do you see this little spot right here where I last decreased? I'll move this down here at some point. I will count 60 rounds from that spot. That's probably 20-ish now. So I'll count 60 rounds from that spot. I guess it's probably a little bit more. It looks like I only have, you know, this much. That's how I cheat. I just kind of fold these little parts together, the decreases, and this is how much I have basically left of my sock. So I'm knitting this on Knitter's Pride Carbons, DPNs 2.0 millimeters, which is a US size 0. Yep. Okay. The next thing that I worked on is last week I had no progress on this. I kind of stopped at 2 repeats left before I could split for the sleeves. And this is my Felix pullover, and I got the body done. Oh God, you guys, I'm so excited about this. Now it's lopey. Now if you have sensitive skin, you're gonna think this is itchy as all get out. I am not gonna be able to wear this sweater without something under it. It's already like poking through the multiple layers for me, and that bothers me. So I need to get myself a long sleeve shirt. Actually, I have one in the mail coming. Should be here Tuesday or Thursday, and I plan to wear that under this, so that way it's not so itchy, because it does bother me. It doesn't bother everybody. It doesn't bother me when I'm working on it. Actually, I feel like it's lovely when I'm working with it, but I have pretty sensitive skin, like especially around my neck, so it's gonna bother me without something underneath of it. But I'm super happy. You guys are gonna think I'm lying, but I'm not. I knocked this whole bottom of the sweater, these last 2 repeats, right? So like this repeat and this repeat. So from right about here all the way down. I did that today. I think my family's arguing downstairs. Anyways, I did all of that today. But I love the detail that is in the raglan. I think it's beautiful. I think this is actually going to be a sweater that I get a lot of use out of. I am going to wash it or soak it in conditioner and help soften up the fibers just a little bit. And then that will help. It just won't be like super soft. It's not like butter, right? So, Lopi. And this is 100% Icelandic wool. I got this from the Woolly Thistle. It's super inexpensive. I want to say it's something insane. It's under $10 a skein. It's substantially less than $10 a skein. And I bought 10. I think it's something like $5.60 a skein, truly. It might be a little bit more than that, but I feel like that's the right price. So it's a very affordable option for a sweater. You get they come in 50-gram balls, but what is it? 109 yards. So it's, roughly what, $12 for 100 grams, which I feel is pretty dang affordable. So I didn't even knit that with the right sizes. I should tell you that too. The body called for like a US 10. I ended up using a US 8. And then for the ribbing on the bottom, I went down to like a 5 because that's what I just had lying around. But I'm really happy. There we go. I'm really happy with the bottom. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this. See this little piece of yarn right here? I just kind of tied a knot. You can't see it from the outside. You can see it from the inside though. This is kind of how, until I get a tag in here, on here somewhere, that's kind of how I tell the front and back, because this sweater does have shaping in the raglan, but it's kind of hidden. And so for me, it was really important to figure out where the front and back of the sweater was. So I typically just like sew that on there if it's not extremely noticeable. I am hoping to have this sweater done well before the end of the week. This is my main focus. truly the socks can wait another week. But I plan to have this sweater done because I want to cast onto a new project, and it's going to be my new designer of the month pick, and I'm going to talk to you about it next week, but I'm not going to talk to you about it until I've finished with this one. So that's a big one that I've got to get done. Thank you guys, and truly, like, I can probably knit one sleeve a night and be done with this by Wednesday. Like, weave in the ends, done with it by Wednesday, still have the end of the week to focus on those stinking socks, and then I'm only 1 week behind on the socks. And then I'm ready with all free needles to cast onto multiple new projects. Will that happen? I don't know, but I'm hoping so. So, cross your fingers that is what actually happens. Okay, so last week I finished my Charlie socks. Oops, I just tore out some of this. That's okay. And I immediately crocheted it into my hexagon scrappy blanket. So this is Charlie. And I went ahead and grabbed a scrap. This is an old Madeline Tosh sock. Twist, maybe? I had purchased 2 skeins of this to knit this beautiful shawl. Probably 2016-ish. And in fact, if I still had the band, I could tell you, because I used to write the date that I purchased yarn, and I would write it on the band, so that way I could gauge, like, how deep is my stash, like how many years back does it go. But I don't have the band anymore. I don't even remember. I've used this not for that shawl, but for multiple different projects, and this is all I have left. So I'm working it into this blanket, and I'm loving how it is turning out. So this is the puff stitch. It's really just like a bobble when you're crocheting. I'm using a 3.50 millimeter, and if I remember right, somebody told me that was an E hook. Maybe an F hook, but I'm pretty sure it's an E hook. And it's just this old Boye, B-O-Y-E hook. I don't have any of those really fancy, nice ones. This I probably got at Michael's or Joann's. Probably Joann's. And I don't know. It was the only free one that I had just found in my house. That's how I came to use it. I was like, oh, this one's empty. Like, I found that, so I'm going to use that. So I don't even know if that's the appropriate size hook to use for fingering weight yarn, but I'm just magic knotting yarn and knitting or crocheting in the round with this puff stitch. It's so easy. It's so addictive. It has got me off track so many times because you're like just going and going and going, and you're like, oh, just one more puff stitch, just one more. I'll make it to the corner and then I'll quit. Okay, I'll just go around one more time and then I'll quit. One more episode. Anyways, there have been days when I thought, I'm only going to do this little bit and then I'm going to put it down. Like, I'll connect my new ball and put it down, and I'm going to work on something else, and then I don't work on something else. I just keep working on the blanket. So boundaries are just personal boundaries. It's a problem sometimes. Those are all of my whips. I mean, I think that that's a substantial amount of progress, truthfully, but that it's not exactly what I had wanted to get done for the week. So next week's gonna be fine. It'll be better. I'll get more done. Okay, so now to talk to you guys a little bit about, what are we at? We're at 20 minutes. Talk to you guys a little bit about January's designer of the month. I had asked everybody if they wanted to knit along. There were no prizes for this. It was just for fun. And we would just knit from, or crochet from, a designer that was one of our top favorites. It didn't matter if it was a work in progress or if you had just started it or just wanted to start it. And I picked Caitlyn Hunter because I, one, absolutely love her designs, and two, because I had this languishing sweater that had been on my needles for literally years. And so I really focused and got my Guthrie done, which is this. I bought the most amazing skirt to wear with this so I can wear it to work. I'm so excited. It'll be here like Tuesday or Thursday. So clearly I went shopping like a couple weeks ago. And things are just now rolling in. But this is my Guthrie. And this is what prompted the January designer knit along. I needed to finish this. I wanted some inspiration to just get it off my needles. I knew I wanted to finish it. 3 or 4 years worth of knitting, and I had not ever had a chance to wear it. So this is knit out of Malabrigo Rios. Do not know the colorway names. One of them could be the Archangel, and one of them could be the Piedras, but I think that's wrong. Even though I feel like that looks similar, I think that's wrong. So, who knows? So here's number 1. Oh, and I did this wrong. Look at this. I didn't even follow the pattern on that. These are supposed to be pointing the other way, but whatever. Nobody will know. I'm the only one who's going to know. And all of you, since I just told you, but that's okay. So this was my last finished Caitlyn Hunter project. But let's back up and let's talk about my very first Caitlyn Hunter project. This is the Rock Creek pullover. This was my very first project ever from her. I knit this out of Madeline Tosh Farm Twist. I do not remember the colorway name. I did not alternate skeins. I kick myself for not alternating skeins. But it is still one of my favorite sweaters. It has this beautiful detail on the raglan, seed stitch in the middle, and then it has a high-low hem, and you can definitely tell that I did not alternate skeins when I was knitting this. This was my very, very first Caitlyn Hunter knit. I will tell you that the Farm Twist is probably one of my all-time favorite bases to work with as far as sweaters go. I like how cottony soft it is, how warm it is. It does not irritate my skin. I don't get too hot. I love it. Our local yarn store here used to carry it. However, it no longer does. And I'm not sure if that's because Madeline Tosh was bought out by another company, or exactly how that all worked. Like, I really don't know the details, but either way, you can still purchase it on the Madeline Tosh website, and I love it. Some smaller yarn companies do still carry it, like Eat Sleep Knit does still have it on their website too. So if you haven't knit with it, check it out. That was my first one. My second Caitlyn Hunter project was the Codicus shawl. This was my very first color work shawl ever. I'm super proud of it. Like, I think knitting color work flat was a little difficult. I think it's so much easier in the round. But I super love this. These, again, this is Madeline Tosh. I did use the Farm Twist on this as well. Don't know my colors. This color, though, was left over from the sweater. So I used up every last bit that I could because I loved it so much. I wore this to soccer games quite often. So, anywho, it's such a great pattern. If you have not ever knit a color work shawl flat before, I would check it out. Just go give it a peek. You might love it. It's a little small. I will say, like, if I have the opportunity to knit it again, I will probably make it bigger. I might even figure out how I can do multiple repeats of some of the color work and make it a little bit bigger, or at least lengthen like the bottom part, like make it bigger. I don't know. I might do that. Just, I love that shawl so much. And it was so much fun to knit. Okay, the next amount of stuff is a little bit of a blur. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Caitlyn Hunter things to talk to you about, and they're all sweaters. I feel like the next one was the White Horse sweater. I don't remember the name of this yarn. I got it at Vogue Knitting Live in like 2016 in Seattle area. I went by myself and I had a great time. My husband and I just kind of made a little trip of it, and I met all the people. You know, I wanted to meet Stephen West. I had to leave, and he was not there the day that I was there. I was only there for one day, but I did meet so many other people, and we got a really fun cheesy picture. Like, I was just so excited to be with all of these designers. I might add that to the end. But I did meet some fun people. You know, it was fun. But it's a blur, and it's been my only fiber festival that I've ever been to was Vogue Knitting Live. I've wanted to go to others, but it just has not been in the books for me. So hopefully, obviously COVID is not going to be around forever, so maybe I'll get an opportunity to go again. But I love this sweater. I actually wear this sweater a lot to work when it is really cold, because the yarn that I picked is super warm. It is a 3/4 length arm. It has beautiful baubles all over it. It looks amazing with a pair of slacks and just is great over a dress or with a skirt. I love this sweater. You can dress it up and dress it down, however you want to do it. But the yarn that I did use for this is very much a workhorse yarn. So it's very rustic. Clearly I need to fix my weaving in. I have this popping out from the last time I washed it. So tuck that back in. What's next? I feel like my Sunset Highway might have been next. This is my Sunset Highway. I did short sleeves and I made it cropped, and I wear this to death in the springtime. This is my all-time favorite. I wear it over all of my linen dresses. It just adds a little bit of extra warmth. It's my favorite. I actually like wish I had more little tops like this in the springtime. Now, because I went ahead and cropped it, you know, I don't wear this to work. I should make another one and wear it to work because I think it would be lovely. But I used all Graceland wool yarn in this, which for me was really special at the moment because, except for this was Wool & Boon. This yarn down here, right here, this was alternating skeins between Wool & Boon and Graceland wool yarn because I did not have enough of one colorway. So I alternated rounds. I don't think anyone could tell. I think that everybody would think this was one colorway. Mine was the lighter, and the Wool & Boon is this amazing, it has the darker flecks in it, so it's perfect. This is that Grace colorway. Remember that I made those socks of not too long ago? The Grace colorway. Yeah, just a gray, a semi-solid gray, and then, oh God, I can't remember this green color. I can't remember what I named it. But I love that sweater so much. It is worn more than any of my other sweaters in the springtime. I feel like after that, I started working on my Zwag, which is this one. I also wear this one to work quite often. I work at a law firm, so I have to be really careful about the clothing that I pick. Like, it has to really look professional. So underneath of a blazer, this looks amazing. Yeah, and by itself too, don't get me wrong. It's just, you just got to pick, right? Like what it's going to work with. I do have this lovely tan, it's like more of a khaki kind of color, brown skirt that's pleated that I'll wear, and I have a cute little belt, and I wear it with my tall boots, and it's beautiful. And then I do have a pair of brown slacks that I wear this with a blazer. Oh, the yarn for this. So this darker color, it was Madeline Tosh Merino Light Whiskey Barrel colorway. And then this was my Hogwarts colorway from Graceland wool. I love this so much, and it's so comfortable. If you've never knit a sweater out of single ply yarn before, do it. It's incredible feeling. It's so soft and so light. I have a couple of them. It's actually one of my favorite fingering weight bases to use for sweaters. I love how it drapes. I love how it knits up. I love how it feels. I don't know. I didn't think I would. I thought maybe it would just, I don't know. I thought maybe it would pill really, really badly, but if you take care of it, I mean, and just de-pill as needed, I think you're fine. I think you're totally fine. So, we have two more sweaters to talk about. Oh my goodness. So next, is my Nordiska. Another crop. I wear the heck out of this in the fall. I have this amazing, like, camo green linen dress. It is like just spaghetti strap dress, has pockets, but it goes down past my knees. It's like a maxi kind of dress, but it's linen, and I love it. And this piece makes that dress the most versatile dress ever. So I wear it in those few weeks as we are moving from summer into fall, where it's warmer in the days, but at night gets chilly, and so you need something to throw on that matches. So good. So good. And I love the detail. The neckline is actually my favorite. I love this V-neck, and I have a thing with detailed raglan pieces. This has a really beautiful cable. It's on both the front and back. I love that so much. The gray was my Dumbledore colorway. The green, I want to say this green was from Tuscan Knits. I think I'm correct on that. For this green, I want to say that was Tuscan Knits. And then the black that I used is actually from a giant skein that I got from Mrs. Babs Yarn. She had these kits, like these sets you could buy, and it was like one giant skein and then like two 50-gram skeins or something. Yeah. And the black is from that. So I just broke it up to use that. Love that sweater so much. My last one to show you is the one that I have not woven any ends. It's like in the shame corner. It took me forever. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Obviously, I haven't woven in any of the ends. So it's this guy. This is my Soldotna. I think it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's not blocked. The ends aren't woven in. I did the same thing on this one as I did on my Guthrie, where you can see it pokes in when I start the color work. So clearly I pulled too tight. And then this, like all of the ends. So this year I'm gonna finish it. This year I'm gonna weave in the ends and get it blocked and see if I can't work out these stitches just a little bit. But I think it's stunning. I'm gonna wear the heck out of it. I have the perfect dress to put it over. In fact, I bought that perfect dress to wear this over when I started it. And the floats all look just gorgeous on the other side, but then like you see that. This is what I don't want to do. Look at that. It's just so much. So, and I don't even know what happened here. Look at this. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so those are all of my Caitlyn Hunter projects. I love, oops, I think I got a crochet hook stuck in this. There we go. I love all of them. I wear all of them except for that Soldotna. And she has come out with some more projects that I can't wait to knit. Like, I just don't know what it is. Like, they're so much fun. I think they're beautiful. I think they fit. Maybe they just fit with my style. I'm not sure. But I do have some plans this year to knit more of them. So, 40 minutes in. And we are done with all of the knitting content, all of the crochet content. I did want to talk to you guys about my meal planning system. Somebody, a friend of mine, had asked me, what is your typical meal planning system? Like, how do you navigate that each week? Because I am struggling with that. And I thought, well, I can show you what I do, and I don't know if it's helpful, but it works for our family. And if some of those things work for yours, then great. And if not, then that's fine too. So I thought, well, when I told her that and she thought, that's amazing, obviously this is why I'm telling you. So here's how I do it. First thing I do is I go throughout and I pick about 7 or 8 dinners, main meals, essentially. Print out all of those recipes. And then I print out a card. Dinners this week. And I have them all listed. This goes on the fridge. I typically print 2 copies. One goes on the fridge. One goes in my book. I have like a little recipe notebook. And I say, this was great. This sucked. Okay. This goes in the fridge. As everybody picks what they want for dinner each day, we cross this off. I have pre-printed all of the recipes that are needed if they are not in one of my recipe books. These are here. If we like the recipe, it gets refiled with this guy in my binder. Okay? That is kind of my plan to keep what we like. If we don't like it, it gets tossed, and we never repeat the same dinner week. Okay. After I've picked those, then I go through each and every recipe and I add them onto a Word document and I categorize it. And the first recipe gets put in, and then as I need to make changes, you know, like if the first recipe said I only needed 2 carrots, then it would have 2 carrots. But then if the next recipe said I needed 4 more, then I would change it and make it 6 carrots. Okay. I literally type out every single thing I need just to make those main meals, leaving myself room for any additional things, right? Lunch meat, bread, applesauce, fruit snacks, Capri Suns, soda, whatever your kids like, whatever we like that are staples that aren't part of this, right? Breakfast foods, things like that. Pancake mix. You got it. Okay. Then I start creating this typically Wednesday or Thursday. Saturday is my clean out day and my regrouping day. So I start going through all of my pantries and my fridge, pull everything out, clean it all out, start putting things back. If I find that I still have, 1 yellow onion that is good, I'll cross out that 2 and I'll just make it 1. If I go through and I'm like, oh, potatoes. Well, I didn't put how many I needed, so it was probably for like mashed potatoes or something, and I've got 6 that are really great. I'm just going to cross potatoes off. So then when I go on Sunday and I go grocery shopping, all this stuff is accounting for everything I already have to make these meals, and then what I need to get. So then I'm not overbuying things. I'm getting exactly only what I need. Is it a lot more work? Yeah, I guess. This step right here probably takes me 45 minutes in the week. Picking out our meals probably takes me another 45 minutes throughout the week, spaced out. Monday, I try and pick a couple recipes. Tuesday, and I gauge what everybody kind of wants. Like, do we have a lot of soup last week? Do we need to cut out soup? Is everybody saying that I want pasta? Is everybody wanting something on the grill? Like, I gauge it, and it changes. But that's what works for me. So I wanted to share that with you in case that is something that you're struggling with. We don't have like a meal delivery service at all. And having everything on hand is really, really nice. Like I said, I do get everything for 7 or 8 meals. I'm usually planning again before they're all used up. And I tend to pick, like, the first couple meals be the ones that the ingredients don't last as long. So, like, in this one, I have 2 salads. I have a green sun-dried tomato herb salad, and then I also have a mean green detox salad. I will choose to use those, do those dinners, probably not back to back, but most likely one of them will be Monday and one will be Wednesday. So that way all of those veggies aren't going to go bad. Whereas like the spicy coconut butter chicken with rice, that the ingredients for that are going to last a lot longer. So that'll probably be at the end of the week. You gauge it, like fish tacos with black bean and corn salad, homemade guac and pico, like all of the ingredients except for the guac and the pico can kind of last for a little while, so chances are they'll last until Friday and we can have fish taco Friday, you know. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. So okay, it's been a long bit. I am done. I think I've gone over all of the things, so I hope to meet again with you guys next week. I hope to have some more progress done on my blanket, those stinking socks done, and hopefully that sweater gets done too. And we'll get a chance to go over what February's goals are. Designer of the month. Is it a specific designer, or is it just specific to you? So anyways, I have been slowly creating show notes for every single episode. I say slowly and every single episode really loosely though, because last week I finally finished show notes for episode 1. So I might get better this week. Maybe I can get 2 and 3 done. I'm not sure I'm going to get today's done, or maybe I should get today's done and then go back and do 2s also. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope to see you all again next week. Bye, you guys.